All right, everybody. My name is Colton Bass, and I'm here to tell the story of how I almost died as a teenager. I'm probably being a bit dramatic on that, but that's how I like to tell it. So, I was about 18 years old, and me and my buddies were hiking a hike called Rough Canyon in the Fruita Monument in western Colorado. This hike is through a dry creek bed at the base of this giant canyon that's all red rocks and always sunny, and it's awesome. Um, about halfway through the hike, up on one of the cliff faces, there is this crevasse. It's probably only about 12 inches wide, but if you go into it, it comes into this obstacle that we called the lemon squeeze. Um, And after getting into this, you shimmy your way through this rock, scraping your chest and your back at the same time. And then you start climbing up, and then you get into this cave system where it's still thin and you're still squeezing your way through, but you're climbing up about 100 yards at the same time. And then at the end of this climb up, there's this boulder that's blocking the way. So you've got to shimmy up the side of this wall another 15 feet or so to get over this boulder. But after you get out of the pitch blackness of all that, because there's no light in there, it opens up into this chamber with cracks through it where the sun shines through and just lights up all this red rock, and it's an amazing place to be. And I always loved going there. Me and my buddies would hike it about 5 times a week. Not quite that much, um, but after you get through this room, you start making your way down this cliff face. Uh, it's kind of dangerous, a lot of shale, places to slip. But that's not the story of how I almost died. After you get down off this cliff face, it ends up into this boulder field. There's no clear path on how to get back because I don't think it was an official part of the trail. But there's this boulder field that'll eventually lead you back to the trail. And we were making our way through this boulder field. Boulders maybe 10 foot tall to 5 foot tall, all in there, and then blank patches all over the place of just sand in the middle of this red rock canyon. And we were making our way through, and I jumped down in the middle of these two rocks and landed. And I saw a few things slither beneath me. This whole place is full of lizards and everything. But I looked down, and the things slithering around me weren't lizards. I just hopped into a nest of baby diamondback rattlesnakes. Not a good position to be in. I froze for a second because I was down in this hole essentially between all these really tall boulders, surrounded by all these rattlesnakes, and they were thankfully they were all slithering away. But as I thought that they were all going to slither back into their rocks, I heard the telltale sign, that diamondback rattle from the mother, I assume. I had never jumped so high in my life, but I swear to you, I cleared that 15-foot boulder in one bound. Um, I didn't realize how much danger I was in, but we were about 2 hours away from cell service and a pretty long hike from there. So that's my story of how I almost died, and to always know your surroundings is the lesson I learned.